Hi everyone. So I just recently have been noticing, well, I've noticed it a few times, but just recently saw a post that really kind of got me upset. As you guys know, I'm in a few support groups on Facebook and I follow a lot of people with PKU on Instagram. And so here's the thing. I saw a post and it was a mother of a very young kid with PKU, a toddler, and she posted in a support group just asking for help, asking for advice. I believe she was just asking, what should I eat? I'm kind of running out of ideas of what to feed my child. And her son had a tolerance that was rather high compared to a lot of people with PKU. It was about 17 grams of protein a day. And the thing is that the comments were not very supportive. And that's where I started to get upset because this is just a mother of a PKU child, like many of us, or like many of our mothers, who's trying to take care of her kid the best she can. And we need to appreciate that regardless of the tolerance, it's still hard. It's still hard to have PKU, and I know I've talked about this before. I've been someone who's tried to follow the diet and has followed the diet without Kuvan and had a really low tolerance, and I've done that. I've been there. I was there most of my life. Only in the past couple of years have I taken Kuvan, and there was a time where I was off diet and I felt those effects. And now I'm on Kuvan and I'm on diet and my tolerance is higher. However, that doesn't diminish the fact that I have PKU and that I deal with all the same symptoms as other people. Yes, I am very grateful for the amount of help that I am able to get from Kuvan, but I am by no means off diet. Um, and I completely sympathize with people who don't have that luxury. I understand that I have a privilege that other people do not have. Again, that's not the point here. The point here is that when someone posts in a support group looking for just that support, it is, in my opinion, really unfair to comment on that person's status or, um, you know, post and say things like, oh, you have it so easy. You don't, they gave no advice. These comments, almost none of them were giving any advice or any suggestions. All she asked for was snack suggestions, which anybody with PKU and someone with a lot of experience with PKU could have given her. And instead, she got comments like, oh, you're so lucky, or oh, you can eat whatever you want, or your kid can eat whatever he wants. Um, Here's the thing is, like I said, I've been in both places. I've been in the place where you have a very, very, very limited diet, and I've been in the place where I have a slightly higher tolerance and I can eat a little bit more plant protein. But it's still hard and it's still very limited. As a mother, this mother does not have PKU. So to her, what 17 grams of protein a day is extremely small. And she's trying to make sure that she takes good care of her child. So I just want us to realize that we're all going through this together. This community is isolating enough without us judging other people for something that's completely out of their control. Our tolerance and our bodies are personal, and we don't have any control over them. I don't have any control over the fact that I happened to respond to Kuvan, so now my tolerance is higher. I'm very fortunate and I'm very grateful, and I appreciate that I'm lucky. But just as much as someone who didn't respond to Kuvan has no control over that. We need to be there for each other and we need to support each other and we need to empathize. Because I understand that with something as difficult as PKU, it's very easy to be like, oh, you're fortunate, or oh, you're lucky. I know I've done that with like talking to vegans and vegetarians, like, oh, you're so lucky you can eat all these plant-based proteins, or with vegetarians, oh, you can eat cheese. Like, that's huge. That's a huge, 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 huge difference from PKU. And people always tell me, oh, you have a higher tolerance, so you must be able to eat a lot of vegan foods. And the fact is, no, I can't. Really, none at all, actually. I mean, I eat like pure plants, whole foods, but I don't eat any vegan substitutions of anything because they're all high in protein. So, again, I'm kind of going off here, but I just want us to remember that we are all just as isolated in PKU, regardless of our particular circumstances. We are all just as isolated. We are all just as lonely. We all need support, and that's the purpose of reaching out to people in this community. So when we decide that we're gonna judge someone or maybe make them, I'm sure this made her feel bad to say, oh, well, you have it so easy. She probably felt terrible. She probably felt like, oh, well, like I don't have any control over this, and I'm sorry that you don't have the same tolerance. Um, I just want us to respect that we are all different, but we are all different together. We're all going through this together. We all need the empathy. We all need the compassion and the support. And that's all I'm saying is when you see posts like this and think of your, the immediate reaction you have. And the immediate reaction you probably have is jealousy or maybe a little bit of resentment. And I don't know. I'm not trying to judge anybody here because I get it. I just don't think it's fair to deny someone support because we decide that they have it too easy. So I want you all to, when you see posts like this, take a step back, allow yourself to have that initial reaction, whatever it may be, yourself, in your internal self. Have that yourself, and then put yourself in that person's shoes, whatever their situation is. Put yourself in their shoes, and then give advice on that. And if you can't, then don't give advice. Don't say anything. Because what that person needs is support. They don't need judgment. They don't need resentment. And if you feel that way, that's okay. It really is. It's okay if you feel that way because this is unfair. This whole situation that every one of us is in is unfair. It's not fair that we have PKU, but it's also not fair to judge someone or resent someone or deny someone support because they have it easier than you, okay? And I'm sorry that I'm babbling and I'm rambling and I seem angry. I want us to remember that we are community and we're here for each other, and that's why we're in these groups. That's why we reach out to each other. It's for support. It's not for judgment. So if you don't have anything nice to say, please keep your thoughts to yourself because it's unnecessary, it's hurtful, and it might be a lot more hurtful than you see. Yeah, like I said, none of us was dealt a fair hand here. We need to just support each other and hold ourselves up and love each other and be there for each other. And like I said, if you're not able to do that, please keep your thoughts to yourself. And it's not like any of these comments were vicious or mean. And I've been there. I've had vicious and mean comments. But I want us to remember that we're here to support each other. And I've personally had comments. I posted a a picture on Instagram a couple years ago. It was just a picture and it was a body positive quote. It had nothing to do with PKU. And I got at least a half a dozen comments from a particular girl who called me a clown, a fraud, an attention seeker, a glory seeker, an embarrassment to anyone with classical PKU. And those words stung. And I let it roll off my shoulders, but it did take me a minute to digest it all. And it was hurtful because I felt bad because, I do have the privilege of responding to Kuvan, and I do have the privilege of being able to eat more protein than I used to, and more protein than a lot of people with PKU get to. But just like every one of you, I didn't choose this lot in life. So I want you to know that I respect all of you, and I respect the struggles that we go through, and I hope that you guys can all do that for each other. And again, if you feel like it's unfair, that's okay because it is. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't support people here who are going through the same kinds of struggles as you. So to that mother, or to anyone who's received feedback like this because they've got a higher tolerance, I just want to say I support you and I respect your struggle and I'm here for you. And just know that you are not alone.